Welcome to another episode of the Ray Vaughan Show. It's your boy, Ray Vaughan. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. Uh, Glad to see you guys. Glad to be back for another show. We're going to hop right into it. Um, as you can see, leaving work. Hold up. The rich man. The rich man. The working man's luxury brand. Shout out to Polo Ralph Lauren. It is hot as fuck in Virginia. And it's been hot as fuck for I don't know how long. And I guess summer started because the kids is out of school or whatever. But if the summer is going to keep being this hot, I'm keeping my ass in the house. And then yesterday we had some crazy fucking rain out of nowhere. And it poured down. And it just so happened to pour down as I was coming home. Now, shout out to Virginia. I love Virginians. And I love that I can call this place home. But with that said, you motherfuckers got to learn how to drive, man. The Virginians cannot drive when it starts even sprinkling, let alone pouring down rain like we experienced yesterday, Tuesday. Please stop. Don't drive. Pull over. But if you're going to drive and you're going to brake check every fucking 2 seconds, or you're going to drive with your hazard lights on, that means that you can't really see. You may want to pull the fuck over and just wait until it passes if you can't fucking see. But no. What do we do in Virginia? When it starts to rain, people turn into fucking Asian Helen Kellers. Yes, Asian Helen Kellers. Motherfuckers can't see nor drive. Like, it's ridiculous, man. Every 2 seconds, brake light, brake light, brake light, brake light. And there don't even be no traffic. Slow the fuck down if you can't drive when it's raining. Like, come on, man. That shit really pissed me off. And yeah, that shit really pissed me off. But yeah, it's been hot. It's been fairly hot. I wonder, what are your energy bills look like? If you're listening to this and you're watching this and you're in Virginia, in the 757 area or Virginia State period, what are your electricity bills like? Have you seen them yet? Because I know y'all had to be running y'all AC. It has been 90 plus for the majority of the days for at least the last month. At least the last month. And I know Dominion Energy. And I had some other people talk about, oh, I have Appalachian Power. I have co-op. I bet Dominion Energy, Appalachian Power, and whatever that fuck co-op it is, I bet them people are raping y'all financially. And you're not going to do anything about it. And it's sad. Because we have the power. We just don't use it correctly. And don't use it when it's needed. But that's another story for another day. I'm not about to get on my soapbox about the energy costs. Homeowners across this country and homeowners across Virginia is feeling the energy hike in their monthly bills. And with my research with the energy companies in this motherfucker in the state, I didn't know that Virginia houses the most data centers. I said that straight like a Southern boy. Data centers. Virginia maintains the most data centers in any other state in our beautiful country. I believe the number is like 711 data centers that's currently operating throughout Virginia. That's a problem. That is a problem. And why is Virginia lawmakers bending over for these big tech companies and or energy companies well, really mainly tech companies, with these data centers. And then I just seen something, I think it was yesterday or 2 days ago. Governor Spanberger put out like a water usage conservation notice for like the southeastern part of Virginia, if I'm not mistaken, like the southeastern or the southwestern part of Virginia, which I'm not too far away from, because our water supply is running low. And why is our water supply running low? Maybe, just maybe, it's got to deal with the 711 data centers that are operating across the state that consumes high amounts of water to keep the servers cool. And this is Virginia. The summers is hot as fuck. It is hot as fuck right now. So you don't think as the temperatures keep rising, them data centers ain't gonna use more water? So I don't know what to say to Governor Spanberger. Well, I do know what to say. Fuck you and your water conservation notice. You have bigger things to worry about. And we're about to get on Abigail Spanberger. The first, I would like to say thanks to you guys, to my supporters on TikTok, to some of my supporters on my YouTube page, my YouTube channel. Thank you guys for the pressure we applied to Abigail Spanberger, because she signed the recreational marijuana bill that was the General Assembly passed months ago. She finally signed it, and marijuana sales is going to start, I believe, July 1st, 2027. And she limited the licenses, I believe, to about 350 retail marijuana shops. That doesn't include the farms and I guess the process facilities for certain type of cannabis products. That's just brick and mortar storefront dispensaries. There are only going to be 350 right now in the state of Virginia. And I believe the tax rate came in lower than what we was expecting. I believe it's 6% sales tax on it, if I'm not mistaken. But then the locality is probably going to add a 3.5 to bump that up to about 9, 10. And then who knows whatever other tax they're going to put up there to raise it to about 12, 13%. So thank you guys. Our pressure was applied correctly and efficiently, and that woman signed that bill. Now, I cannot take all the credit myself, but I do know we had a hand, and I say we, me and my supporters had a hand in pressuring that woman to sign that bill that she promised that she was going to sign without haste when she first was running to be the governor of this great state. Now, this is where I have a problem at. Abigail, Governor Spanberger. She raised, and I'm not going to be a hypocrite. I'm going to tell you the pros and cons. And the last video I did on this, my two biggest faults was she didn't sign it. She sent it back with recommendations, even though she didn't say that when she was running. My second big part was, if you consume marijuana in public now, if you consume the Heaven's Lettuce in public, smoking, blazing up, rolling up, it's a $25 citation. You pay the citation and you go on about your life. She wanted to raise that to $250 and up to punishable up to a year in jail. She wanted to make it a class 1 misdemeanor. She wanted to take what's a citation right now, and she wanted to upgrade that to a class 1 misdemeanor. Now, with the bill she signed, She backed down on the jail time and classifying it as a class 1 misdemeanor. But I'm going to use President Trump's arithmetic. I, I was about to say, I'm going to use President Trump arithmetic. And just go with me, guys. She raised that citation fee 100%. She raised the citation you can get for consuming marijuana in public in Virginia. She raised that from a $25 citation to a $250 fine citation. 100% increase. That's my Trump math. But I don't fuck with that, Abigail. And to a certain degree, I guess if you're looking at it, if I'm trying to be impartial, we can't consume alcohol in public. It's got to be like in a brown bag, at least in certain situations. So I can understand not smoking marijuana in public. I can kind of understand that. But yeah, to that point, I don't know if you guys has been keeping up with the Texas case. A man sued the state of Texas and won when he got to the Supreme Court because he said it was unconstitutional for Texas to have a law that say I can't be a marijuana user and own guns legally. It infringes on his Second Amendment right. And he took it all the way to the Supreme Court and he won. God bless America. I never got the fact that you couldn't have, it's just marijuana. I'm not talking about hardcore drugs. I'm just talking about marijuana. I never got the fact that, especially when we got, I guess, a little bit more informed as a society on the benefits and the risk of marijuana. And really the risk of marijuana is, besides, of course, being under any type of medication or mind-altering drug, you can't operate heavy machinery. That's number one. Number two, I feel like the biggest risk is you're going to smoke your life away if you're lazy. If you're lazy, you can be a great productive societal member, a great citizen that teaches, that is a banker, that's a doctor, that's a 9-to-5 trade worker, and you may just want to go home and blaze a little marijuana to relax, to decompress. Some people go home and crack open that Jim Beam. Some people go home and snort a line of coke. And some people go home and put their hands on people that shouldn't. That they shouldn't take their anger out on. Men, women come home and take their anger out on kids. Men and women come home, take their anger out on their partners. So I never got that part. Thank God for the Supreme Court. They finally got something right. And I'm going to read what Justice Samuel Alito. I'm gonna read his opinion, a short one. He said, marijuana use today is like alcohol use at the founding of our country. It is widespread and increasingly considered socially acceptable in many quarters of this country. And from a practical standpoint, law enforcement widely tolerates the use of marijuana. So that's a Supreme Court justice saying, basically, we living in a time to where how booze was looked at as the foundation when we was found in this country, the same way as marijuana is looked at now. Because a lot of the stigmatism has been combated with actual scientific evidence. You know, I'm not gonna get too deep on my soapbox, but we killed that stigma. It was a point in time in this country, and please go look it up. Please, I am a person that I love primary sources, but I also use secondary sources. When somebody tells me something, I go do my own research. It is this movie called Reefer Madness that I believe was made in the 30s or 40s, somewhere around there. But I believe it was the 30s. And it basically was like white men in blackface, and they portrayed that black men would get high on marijuana or cannabis, and they will lose all of their self-controls and their morals, and then they would just go around raping white women. Yes, that was a movie that was widely regarded when it dropped in this country in the 1930s, I believe. And it was in the movie theaters, and people loved it, and people went to go see it. And it was white men dressed in blackface, acting like black men was barbaric and savages when we smoke weed. That's where we come from with the stigma of weed. I only said that to show you how far we came from the stigma of marijuana in this country. Now we're using it for medicinal purposes. We're using it for recreational purposes. We're using it to cure certain things, ease ailments. So pretty good. This is my last thing when it comes to Governor Spanberger. Now, Governor Spanberger, this is not a threat. I want people on YouTube to understand this is not a threat. I want people on Twitter, the internet, the Virginia State Police, the FBI to know this is not a threat. This is just a heads up of what I know historically about this country in my 28 years of living when it comes to people talking about that Second Amendment. If you haven't heard, Governor Spanberger signed the bill into law that's going to be a gun ban starting July 1st. Now, people like the NRA and other groups have already started court cases and lawsuits suing the state of Virginia over that. But it seems like it's still going to happen. The law going to take into effect July 1st, and we just going to have to play it out in the courts until it's overturned. But she wants to basically ban, hold on, I got it. She wants to, let's see here. The new law mainly bans future sales, purchases, imports, manufacturing, and transfers of certain semi-automatic firearms, basically ARs, and magazines over 15 rounds, beginning July 1st. Now, like I said, this is not a threat. This is just what I've seen. How do you expect this to go over with the Second Amendment folks? Because soon as you start talking about this, Abigail, a few days after, when you started talking about this a few months ago, a few days after that, them people showed up to the Capitol with long guns and baklavas. And I think I'm saying it right, baklavas, the mask. We know it in my culture right now as Pusheisties because a rapper named Pusheisty made it famous in my culture. But it's meant, I think is the real term is balaclavas. They showed up in camo balaclavas and masks, and I didn't see not one person without a long gun. And they looked like they was ready to use it. Now, some of them looked fatter than me, stomach hanging over, the vest can barely even go past half of the stomach, but they'll pull it and they'll shoot some shit. And they ain't the ones I'm worried about. I'm worried about the men like Jack Reacher that was out there that ain't gonna do no talking. That's just gonna start demonstrating, if you understand what I mean by demonstrating, when it pop off. Those guys really scare me. Now the Paul mall cop nigga people, no. I mean, but I'm saying all this to say this, Abigail. Hopefully, the Virginia State Police has put in more protective detail on you and your family. I pray to God that that Virginia State Police is not so short-sighted that they don't think that leading up to this law and after this law takes effect in Virginia, that they need to put more police officers on your protective detail and on your family's protective detail, because these Second Amendments, they're gonna start exercising their Second Amendment right. And that is the scariest part about America. You never know when it can happen. And my thing, Abigail, I don't understand where the ban is coming from. Like I see both sides of the argument where, they say AR-15s is used in mass shootings and it's meant for mass killings, and that's the only reason why it was meant. To a certain degree, I could probably understand that. Why would you need an assault rifle and you're not in the military, you're not engaged into a war? I can see that. I agree with that. But I also agree with, God damn it, I'm an American. And I can have it. And I can have it. We can't put that genie back in the bottle. We can't. I mean, you can make laws on future type of weapons that may be civilian legal and may not or may trample on the Second Amendment rights. But when it comes to AR-15s and things that's already in the market to a certain degree, there's no way you're able to get that genie back in the bottle. And I just think you're making you're getting these people upset about something that they're willing to kill and die over. And I just want you to understand that. And I think you know that because you're not dumb. I just don't understand. Like I was saying, I understand the part where, two sides of the coin is meant for mass shootings and why do you need it? I mean, why do you need more than one pair of pants? Why do you need more than one pair of shoes? Why do people need more than one car? Because we want it. And the overwhelming majority of gun owners in this country abide by the law. The overwhelming majority abides by the law. So you're really only hurting law-abiding citizens, because we call them criminals for a reason, because they don't follow the fucking law. So where do we go from here? And then you said magazines that 15 rounds or more. I'm taking that as clips too. So you mean to tell me I can't buy an FN no more? Because I believe that gun comes standard with a 20 round clip. Meaning I can't buy a 15 round clip from my Glock 43X. And usually when I buy a 15 round clip or any clip, I usually kind of either fill the clip up or maybe leave one out, and I keep one in the head, ready to train to go. So in that example, if I fill my clip for my Glock 43X, if I fill that up, 15 rounds in the clip, and I put one in the head, that's 16 rounds. Legally, I'm breaking the law. I don't think this is when it gets hot, I don't think this is conducive to what you're trying to do, Governor Spanberger. I think it's really going to cause more confusion. It's going to cause more brush-ups with these Second Amendment folks when it comes to law enforcement. I feel like you're putting law enforcement officers in danger. And some attorneys, some Commonwealth attorneys said they're not going to follow it. They don't care. They're not going to enforce it. So we're going to see that battle play out in Virginia in the coming months. But yeah, it's ridiculous. And I just say be safe, Governor Spanberger. These people out here are crazy. And like I said before, they are willing to die and kill people over this Second Amendment right. And I understand we have to do something about gun control in this country, but who knows what's the right answer? Honestly, who knows what's the right answer? Getting rid of all the guns is not the right answer. Because guess what? We're going to be just like fucking Europe. Do you look at the stabbing statistics in Europe? It is fucking high compared to the stabbing statistics in America. Want me to tell you why? Because a lot of them can't get their hands on a gun. Some of them can, but a lot of them can't. So you want me to tell you what the next best thing they do? They stab motherfuckers with kitchen knives. So if you take guns away in this country, you don't think stabbings is going to shoot up 800%? You see how I said shoot up? I'm stopped. I know I'm making my liberal folks mad. But yeah, I mean, it's a dumbass hill to die on, literally and figuratively, Abigail Spanberger. And I don't want nothing to happen to you. I just know how. I don't know what they hold more dear. Is their Second Amendment rights or the flag? I don't know what they hold more dear. Their Second Amendment rights or the flag. But we're gonna see. And I just pray for peace. I'm all about peace and love. So yeah, we're gonna get off Governor Spanberger. I'm gonna spank that ass too long right now, and I ain't giving her no more time. Let's see what's else on the list. V18 takeover. V18. I'm sorry, y'all. Where I'm at in Norfolk, yo, you never know what you'll see. V18 takeover. I love, and I'm gonna preface this by saying this. I understand and I know American history. I know Black American history very well. I am very educated in history. History was my favorite subject in school. I love history. I know a lot about history, especially history in this country. And I understand why and where and how the first police department ever formed in this country, what the real reason they was formed for, and who they was going to protect, and who was their main target and enemy. I understand that. This is 2026, and I cannot sit up here and say that I believe that the 1 million Leos, local law enforcement officers, or law enforcement officers in this country, I can't believe, I just can't sit up here and say I subscribe to the belief that all of them are racist. I can't. That's just like me saying all black people are bad. They're not. That's just like me saying all white people are racist. They're not. So, like I said, I understand the history of the police force and the police departments in this country. But I love what the Virginia Beach Police Department is doing when it comes to these teen takeovers. I love it. As you can see, I don't think, when was the last time we had a shooting at the oceanfront that was dealing with teens? And this group of teens had a problem with this group of teens, and then these two groups just opened fire on each other. We haven't had that since they instituted the curfew. So something is working, you know. And the one thing I like about Virginia Beach Police Department, whoever's running their social media page on Facebook deserves a raise. If you guys have time, go to the Virginia Beach Police Department Facebook page. That's the Virginia Beach, Virginia Police Department Facebook page. And you will see, just go down their photos, council. They done got wind of a teen takeover. They're making these flyers from ChatGPT, and they say council. On this day, we're going to have an additional 75 officers patrolling the area, and the curfew is still in effect. And do you think these teens have been gathering? No. And they need to do something other than the shit that they've been doing. And I'm not going to call these teens uh, dumb. I'm not going to call them dumb because they're kids. They're young teenagers. They're kids. Shout out to the water boy, Adam Sandler. Their Dubla Amlagata is not fully formed yet. So I can't in good conscience call them dumb. But I don't know whose bright idea was to put microphones in these kids' face and ask about teen takeovers and curfews, and these kids responded how you would expect a kid to respond. Oh, what are we supposed to do? It ain't no activities out here. What are they supposed to do? Then, who I am going to call dumb are the people that's in the community that is older than me that echoes what them kids were saying. Now, I'm going to call you dumb because you're a grown adult. You're fucking dumb. Because tell me what business, reason, justification does a 13, 14, 15, 16, 17-year-old is doing in the streets after, I would say, 8? What are your 13, 14, 15, 16, 17-year-old kids doing in the streets after 8 p.m.? Don't know. They don't know. They just looking for shit. They just having fun. We're just doing, we're enjoying the vibes. And I can get 17. I can push the 17. I can understand pushing the 17-year-olds curfew back to 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, 10 o'clock. You know, teens is out in the movies. You know, maybe Ocean Breeze have a late night open park. I don't know. But 17-year-olds, I could see them being in the house by 10. If they're in the movies, you know, we all 17. We were all 17 before. You know, they should act accordingly. But there's no reason for your 13, 14, 15, 16-year-old kid to be outside after 8 p.m. And then when you ask these people in the community, well, what are these kids supposed to do? Oh, well, they need to open up community centers for extended fucking hours. Who gonna pay for that? Who gonna pay for the staff? Who gonna pay for the transportation of these kids? What is gonna happen when one of these kids get kidnapped, missing, hurt, going to or from this extended after hours program that the city is supposed to magically appear and put on? The problem is these kids don't got no fucking home training. Let's just call it what it was. These kids don't have no fucking home training. And you may think with the beard that I'm in my mid-30s or something, but I am 28 years old. So this is not a old sorry for some of my fans. This is not an old nigga just up here talking. I am still in my 20s. These kids, these 13, 14, 15, 16-year-olds do not have self-control, do not have self-respect. Not even, I remember a time where, you know, just maybe how me and my friends was raised. When we was out and we was a teenager and we was maybe smoking weed after school or whatever in the neighborhood, if an older person was walking past or jogging in the neighborhood, because we lived in this semi-nice neighborhood, if an older person is jogging past or walking past, put that down. You know, kids talk how kids talk. So we teenagers, of course, we cursing, N-word this, N-word that. When an older person, it doesn't matter whether they're white, they're black, they're Asian, they're Hispanic. Once we identify an older person coming, we change up that how we speak just out of respect for that older person. These young kids don't have that shit. Man, these bad motherfuckers don't even want to open the door, don't even want to pull up their pants. don't have no type of respect to adults or each other. I guess it's just, we're seeing the product now of kids raising kids. I guess you can call it that. Kids raising kids. Kids being young adults, being fast in the ass, and having kids when you can barely take care of yourself. And we see the product of it now. And these kids don't want to work. That's it. You can say, oh, they need services and youth programs. Man, okay. Talk that shit to somebody that is not in the community and is not my age. Because these 13, 14, 15, 16, 17-year-old men and women don't want to fucking do no youth program, no teen summit shit. They don't want to do that shit. They want to go out with like that I think it was, his name was Tayshawn or something like that, on the Boondocks. I just want to do hood rat shit with my hood rat friends. That's what they want to do. They have no drive to do anything else. Now, I'm not saying they can't grow from that, because like I said, they are kids. But as of right now, that would be a huge waste of taxpayer money to start some of these programs. That's just my opinion. I think it needs to start with the home first. These kids need to start getting held accountable at home. You see what happened in DC, which I don't like that lady. You know, some of the things she done came out and said, I found very offensive to myself and my community. But that, I believe the DC attorney, Janine something with a P, when she said she gonna start charging adults, not the good adults that, you know, you're bending over backwards trying to hold your kid accountable and he just wow. You know, you done went through therapy, you done went through school sessions, you done went through interventions and beyond scared straight shit, and he just wow. She said we're not after you, but we're after the parents that, motherfucker, you don't know where your kid at 10 o'clock at night? And that motherfucker's in our Navy stockyard tearing that shit up? Are you fucking crazy? Yes, we're gonna hold you accountable. And this is the saddest part about it. This government, just like the military, I think the added adage or the example, the metaphor is dealing with the military, but I use it with the federal government as well. The adage is the military is a hammer and they see everything as a fucking nail. That is how the United States federal government operates. So if you people, our people, us as citizens, cannot raise our kids to be respectful, then the United States government is going to raise these kids. And that is the last thing you want. And then 20 years from now, we're going to be like, ugh. Yeah, we kind of did make a mistake maybe locking some of these kids up, because some of them, their life is all forever changed. It's fucked up. And before you start saying racist shit, either way, racist shit, whether white people saying it or racist shit with black people saying it, I mean, I haven't really seen a teen takeover with white people, white kids. And maybe because they're not recording shit. And they're not going to one of the most profitable and lucrative places in Virginia Beach called the Town Center. They're not going there and overtaking and just causing a ruckus. They may, and I'm not trying to be funny, and I don't want them to be offended when I say this. These motherfuckers got land and money, you know. Hey, Bryce, my father said we can use the lake and we're going to have a bonfire. Yeah, we're going to go and we're going to have a big party there. That's why we really don't see some of that, is because they have spaces they can kind of go to congregate and to do wild shit. Because I'm not saying they don't do wild shit. Kids is kids, whether you white, you black. I did wild shit. Whoever watching this video did wild shit. And don't let these people fool you. Don't let these 40-year-olds be all goody two shoes. A lot of these people, white, black, Asian, whatever, was doing a lot of coke when they was coming up in the 80s, and some of them was doing other shit. But that's neither here nor there. Neither here nor there. But yeah, I haven't. They have access to a different type of environment than we do. That is fine. I can understand if these black kids. Let me just keep it real. I can understand if these black kids had a type of spot like, hey, we're gonna. This person family got land and it's water and it's a little lake. We're gonna have a little takeover there. What do you call it? Them fucking trail rides. That's what it's called. Have a junior trail ride. Call it a junior trail ride. Sell the little tickets. Have some vendors out there, and it's meant for young teens to come and enjoy themselves in a safe environment. I guarantee you, if you tried to do that with a city that had that type of land, more than likely they would accommodate that, because they're like, at least the kids is going to be right here. We're going to have police presence. They're going to be safe, and it's going to be fine. But no, what do these kids do? Hey, y'all, show up at the Galleria Mall. Show up at Town Center at 5 p.m. We're going to fuck it up. It's going to be twerking. It's going to be games. Yeah, we're going to shut it down. Okay. And the Virginia Beach police said, try it if you want, motherfuckers. Something has to be done with these teens. And I think Virginia Beach has solved the problem with curfew. Because if we catch you outside after, I think it's 8 p.m., automatically, we don't give a fuck. Citation. And you got to go home. Your parents got to pick you up, or we're going to drop you off, or whatever. And keep letting us catch you outside. We're going to hold your parent accountable. So now, that parent is going to discipline you by any means necessary. Shout out to Malcolm X. By any means necessary, or their ass going to go to jail. And that's just how we're going to have to play it, because there's no way that young people, young adults in their 20s, in their 30s, whether you're white, you black, citizens that's not these teens, whether you're white, black, Asian, there's no way you can't take your family out and enjoy the town center or enjoy the mall without these rambunctious, rowdy, disrespectful, light in the ass kids. Because soon as they disrespect, excuse me, I'm getting a little fired up. Soon as they disrespect your wife or your partner, or say something to one of your kids in an unfavorable fashion, and you put your hands on these fucking kids that act like they're men walking around here just because they got a fucking 30 round Glock magazine, or they got a drum and they don't even know how to use the shit, or they got a switch and they feel like they're a fucking man, and then what happens? They go down to life in the path of just death and destruction. Death and destruction. And one day it's going to catch up with them. Either death or destruction, in the terms of you being in jail for the rest of your life. Look at the Julio Foolio trial. Look at the Julio Foolio. If you don't know about the rapper Julio Foolio, he was a Florida rapper. That he wasn't a good person. He killed multiple people, and then not only killed multiple people, rapped about killing those people. Not only rapped about killing those people, he went to their gravesite and shot a music video of the person he killed. Not only did he kill people, not only did he make music about killing people, he went to their gravesite and shot a music video dancing around their gravesite to an R&B song. He was not a good guy, but we can't take the law in our hands. And these 4 or 5 individuals, young people, stalked this man on social media for months trying to get his locations. And all of them got life in prison without the possibility of parole, except for the only woman that was charged. I believe it was 4 guys and a woman charged. 4 young men and a young woman charged. The young woman only got 15 years. The reason why she only got 15 years is because she put everything on her boyfriend and she took a plea deal. Which I don't think that's right. Because from what I've read and from what I seen doing research on the case, she was the main catalyst. She was the main striking point in you going in the spot, making sure he there. If you would have said, no, he ain't there, I ain't see him. Fuck, man. All right, let's go back to and let's see where he at. You could have saved that man's life by diverting that. You could have saved that man's life by not telling them where he was at. But you didn't. And you got 15 years. And I don't think that's right. And even your boyfriend said it was unfair. It was unfair that he got life without parole and she only got 15 years. And they basically did the same thing and basically had the same part of the crime. And the judge was not hearing none of that shit. And I am glad for it. Then you got the next guy, the cousin. I could kind of, I ain't gonna say I understand the cousin. I just, look, let me tell you something. If you love me and I mean something to you, look in my eyes when I say this. If somebody kills me, if you don't have a foolproof plan, like Dexter in the beginning of the Dexter series, to kill that person, then don't do it. Why would I want you to throw your life away and I'm already dead? One day that person is going to get their karma. But if I loved you, like how you say you love me, I wouldn't want you to throw your life away, partner. Sit in a cage for the rest of your life. Come on, man. Like with the cousin, like how do you think your mama and your aunt and your like? Not only did they lose Julio, they lost you, and you coming up there thanking God and basically smirking and smiling and having no remorse at all. It's like, yeah, they should have killed that one. And I don't give a fuck how nobody feel. They should have killed that one because he didn't have no remorse. And even like I said when I started talking about this, Foolio was not a good guy. He was not a good man. He was a menace. He was a terrorist in our community. But you did kill him, and you didn't get away with it. So I mean, the law's the law, really. The law's the law. And it's sad because everybody else was tearful, remorseful. The one guy that it was his girlfriend that was involved with the crime, he barely could speak. You can hear his voice trembling, trying to get the words out. Even the cousin, you can tell that he was about to break down. Because, yeah, you can say all of this tough, yeah. But, my man, you are about to go somewhere into a facility and you're never going to leave until you're leaving feet first on a structure. If that, you may die there and they may cremate or bury your body at the prison. For what? For what, man? It's ridiculous. I said on the last episode about black beauty supply stores, and I found one. Queens Crown Beauty Supply, 1174 Big Bethel Road, Hampton, Virginia. Is Queens Crown Beauty Supply, 1174 Big Bethel Road, Hampton, Virginia. It's a black-owned beauty supply store. Make sure if you guys are serious about boycotting Asian businesses and not going, the only Asian businesses I know are beauty supply stores and Chinese spots. With the Chinese spots, I guess go to Panda Express, and it's an Americanized Chinese fast food chain. But probably more than likely that may be owned by Asian people, and the beauty supply stores. But Queen's Crown Beauty Supply, I said it, I got it without looking. Queen's Crown Beauty Supply on 1174 Big Bethel Road is in Hampton, Virginia. If you wanted to patronize a black-owned beauty supply store because you're boycotting the Asian businesses, then Queen's Crown Beauty Supply on 1174 Big Bethel Road in Hampton, Virginia. Seemed like it had a lot of stuff. Bootsy, a famous entertainer rapper, was there, and he said he got a lot of stuff. So it should be pretty good. Go check it out if you're in the need of a black-owned beauty supply store. All right, let me get to my JayZ news. My JayZ news. Before I get to my JayZ news, I'm gonna do the Karmelo Anthony verdict. He received 35 years, eligible parole in 17 years, appeal in the works. Of course, all of you know by now the Karmelo Anthony case, I believe out of Texas, and the conclusion of that case. I'm gonna preface this conversation by starting off by saying this. Before I get into any details, coming from the Teen Takeover conversation, two teenagers and their families' lives have been impacted forever. No matter what you do, no matter the verdict, no matter the sorries, the sympathies, anything, their two lives and their two family lives have been put on a different path than what God was destined for. And my heart goes out and my sympathy goes out to both families. Because like I said, they're teenagers. Yeah. And even if was true, even if Austin Metcalf was racist and he was on a racist tyrant, and I still gotta look at him for what he is, a kid. I know my thought process as a 28-year-old is different than my thought process when I was 16 and 17 years old. And I was very, very radical and anti-government and burn this shit down. And as I grew, I understood you can't exhaust yourself mentally in that type of way. You can't die on every hill. And sometimes things are not what they're seen. That's what research and wisdom comes in from. Now that's out the way. That sympathies to both families, prayers for both families. Both families have been impacted forever. Going to my next point. People are talking about a video won't shown, a video that would approve whatever. So I'm a preference what I'm gonna say off. I did not watch that video, and that video has not been released. And I may change my opinion when I see that video. I don't think so, but I may change it. Now, Karmelo said he stabbed the boy. And let's just go off the premise of 3 people walked up and pushed him and told him to get from under the tent because this is not your school. I don't give a fuck if it's raining. Get the fuck out of here. Even if that's the case, your son's reaction to that was to take out a knife and stab that boy. And not only take out a knife, we have to teach our kids and adults kids and adults to keep their fucking mouths closed in a situation of danger that somebody can get hurt. Because let me tell you what worked against him, which I could kind of see why it worked against him. When he said he put his hand in his bag and he said, touch me, do it again, I dare you, touch me, to something of that effect. And then I believe when Austin Metcalf pushed him again or did whatever he did to him again, he took out that knife and stabbed that boy. That's what the evidence I see. That's what was presented in court. Now, the video may show something completely different than what was said in court. And I am waiting to see the video, and I will change my opinion once I see it. But I still is harping on this part, how your son took out a knife, and it wasn't a fucking track tightening shoe tool, a track shoe tightening tool. It wasn't that. Even though people were saying that's what it was, it wasn't that. I seen the picture of the motherfucker, basically not something this big, but he had something that went like this. That is not a fucking tool to fix track shoes. Now, could you use that pocket knife to maybe tighten up a screw or tighten up a track shoe? Maybe yes, of course. But was that pocket knife made for that? No, it wasn't. And I will put 2 of my good paying checks that was not the case. That man had a folding knife. Now, I'm going to say this as well. So he had the folding knife. He said, if you do something again, I'm going to use it. Or if you do something again, touch me again and watch what happens. Something to that effect. And this is what I was saying about kids and adults need to shut the fuck up when you're in a dangerous situation. Because they use that against Karmelo. People got on the stand, witnesses got on the stand and said, what happened? Well, the altercation happened and Karmelo put his hands in the bag and he kept saying, you know, touch me again, push me again, see what happens, do it again. And then Austin did it again, and all of a sudden, the knife came out and he stabbed him. I mean, if you're going to do something, don't talk about it. And I'm not advocating for that. I'm just saying, don't speak on it. I am a concealed weapons carrier. I have a CCP permit by the state of Virginia. Let me tell you something, how I live my life. If somebody, and please kids and adults, listen. If somebody puts my life in danger and I feel something is going to come of this, my first instinct, wherever I'm at, is to get away from that person. De-escalate the situation, walk away, don't engage in an aggressive manner, and try to move away. Now, fast forward the story a little bit. If that person shows deadly aggression, that means a gun has been pulled, a knife, some type of weapon is coming towards me while I'm trying to defuse or leave the situation, or you're trying to hurt somebody that's with me, I am not going to say anything. If you arguing with me face to face, hey man, get the fuck out of my face. Whatever you talking about, I don't give a fuck. As long as you don't put your hands on me, I don't give a fuck. But once you show deadly aggression to me, I have to make it home at night. And I'm not going to sit up here and say, yeah, put your hands on me. Put your hands on me. Put your hands on me. Because I know what I'm going to do. So if I say, yeah, put your hands on me again. And then he put his hands on me. And then I take my Glock 43X out and empty the mag into his faceplate. Want me to tell you what these people that was at Applebee's, Ruby Tuesday, Chili's, wherever I was at when that altercation happened, want me to tell you what these people going to say when they come to court? They don't care that I'm a good person. They don't care. They don't know that I'm a good person. They don't know that I mentor young boys in my community. They don't know I've never been arrested before. They don't know that I treat my elders with respect. They just know that he was talking shit, something happened, and the big black guy kept saying, yeah, do it again, do it again. And when the guy did it again, the black guy took out his gun and did what he did. So that whole self-defense thing is going to go right out the fucking window. Now, to this point, do I think he should get 35 years? Maybe not. Maybe not. I'm going to be honest. I don't think he should get 35 years. Now, I do think one thing. Yes, your ass should go away for some years. And it should be 5 or better. 5 or better, less than 10. That's the sweet spot for me. 5 to 10 years. That is the sweet spot to me because you did take out a weapon that you had kind of, it seems like in preparation if something happened. And you used it and you killed a teenager. You killed the boy. Now, it's different if they came up and whatever transpired, and you saw something heavy on the table and you picked that up, you hit him in the head with it and you ran. That is something completely different. You looked at your surroundings, how the fuck I can get out of here, and bam, you hit somebody and you ran. Everybody would be seeing this as different. But they pushed you, allegedly, or whatever, and then your response to that was to put your hand in your bag. Not they pulled out a knife first, not they said we're going to get a gun. Whether you was going to get beat up or not, I mean, I think right now, you would rather take that ass whooping if everybody got beat up in school. I mean, you see movies, you see TV shows, people get beat up, people lose fights. Everybody can't be Floyd Mayweather and win every single fight they ever had. And my thing is, even if you would have lost the fight, none of this would have been happening. You would have still been in school, you would have still had your life, and none of this would have been happening. Now, I did find it odd that the case only lasted 7 days. I did find that very unusual. What I didn't find unusual, what other people said, that it was, oh, he had a white jury, white jury, white jury, white jury. I don't understand you. I don't think you motherfuckers know how the courts work or how law works. You do know with jury selection, it is a pool of citizens, right? The prosecution, the district attorney, and the defendant, the defense, Karmelo, lawyers, have challenges, have so many challenges they can use. They have so many, I just don't want this person, that they can use with no reason given with picking jury selection. They come up, they call you by number, and they say, you know, do you watch the news? If it's a celebrity, can you be impartial? What kind of job do you do? What kind of education do you have? And the defense and the district attorney just start picking people. I don't want this person. I want this person. Oh, I don't want you to have this person. Well, I'm going to use one of my challenges. So this all white jury shit, Karmelo's attorney agreed to the jury. And then this goes back to what I was saying about you being in a dangerous situation and you are speaking and being verbal when you're supposed to be quiet. was told that one of the jurors was black, and the reason why they didn't have no black people is because one of the jurors, they said they asked the black person, I don't know if it was a black man or a black woman, they asked that black person, well, can you be impartial given the race and given how racially charged this case is? And that person said no. What the fuck? Are you fucking stupid? Like, something mentally has to be fucking wrong with you to say no. Like, it is something called a hung jury. It is something called a mistrial. It is something called, motherfucker, I'm not going to tell you my true feelings, but I'm going to say one thing out my mouth. And then once we go behind these closed doors, and in my brain, I think one thing. Want me to tell you who mastered the art of that? No offense, white people. White people have mastered the art of, yeah, I'm not racist. I'm not racist. I love the community, and I love this, and I love that. But then go behind the scenes and implement policy or communicate to one another as racists would communicate. And I'm not saying all white people, but I'm just saying some people can speak verbally, I wish you good intentions, when the whole time in their brain, they already know what they're about to do to you. It's something like that. What the fuck? How can that black person say, oh, I can't be impartial? I mean, I guess you was telling the truth, but even me, I can be impartial. And I know history in this country, and I understand the history between cultures in this country. But he would have got some time for me. I ain't saying he would have got off scot-free for me. Yeah, I mean, you got to spend a few years. 5 to 10 years. I'm not saying anything over 10, but 5 to 10 years, because you did take out a deadly weapon when no other deadly weapon was present, was shown. You was the one that took out that deadly weapon and decided to stab somebody. I can't get with that, man. I can't. And hopefully his appeal goes well. Now all of a sudden they got a fucking dream team with all of these big name lawyers and the NAACP people all on his legal defense. Now, where the fuck was y'all at the beginning? So y'all let this boy get 35 years. Then y'all niggas want, then y'all people want to step up and say, oh, that's wrong. We need to help him. What the fuck? Like, hopefully justice is served. However justice is seen, hopefully justice is served. Whatever method and outcome that comes with, hopefully justice is served. Yeah, I just don't get it. And I think it's a slippery slope if we set a precedence that your kids can kill their bullies. Because let me tell you something. I am 28. So being in high school was just literally 10 years ago. Some of you people 10 years ago, y'all was still in y'all 50s. Y'all was still in y'all 40s. Y'all was still in y'all 30s. 10 years ago. So I understand bullying. And I've seen it close up. And I went to a predominantly black school. And I saw young black kids bullying, namely young black men. You know, you say it's right or wrong. I understand they're kids. Bullying people. And before you say, they was bullying people that didn't have the Jordans that they had. They was bullying people that didn't have the nice clothes and designer shit that they had. They was bullying people that may have had a smell, maybe was intellectually different than them, if you get what I'm saying. And if we're setting the precedence where kids can kill their bullies, how many black kids across this country would just pop up dead tomorrow? Because whether it's right or wrong, Black kids go through trauma, and kids don't know how to process trauma. Adults don't know how to process trauma correctly, and they are using their environment because they're either getting bullied, they either don't like themselves, they're either insecure about whatever they're insecure about, and it's coming out as I can pick on you because your insecurities and your shortcomings are more visible than mine. I understand that completely. They're kids. So that's why I say this Karmelo Anthony kid needs a few years. He needs to go to jail for a few years because there's no way. It is no way if this role was reversed and a white kid had stabbed a black kid like this, we would still have the same perspective. It's no, and I would die on that hill. And it's sad because we cannot look at things sometimes unemotionally. Logical, facts, what happened. I would rather my son, my own son, get beat up and come home and I put some peroxide on his wounds and I fucking enrolled him in MMA classes or karate classes after that. I would rather that happen than what we see play out with Karmelo Anthony to this day. Sympathy, thoughts, and prayers go to both families. This case is still ongoing. I believe the appeal is in the works. I don't know where it could have been miscarriage of justice with due process when that comes to light, because the boy did say he stabbed him. Nobody said that Austin Metcalf or the other boys had weapons. Karmelo Anthony was the only one with a weapon. It is so many things that if you take the race out of it, it's like, yeah, maybe not 35 years, but he should do something. He should do some time. That's just my opinion. We're gonna go to JayZ. JayZ announced 2 shows in Paris, one in Paris and one in LA, in September for his 30th anniversary for Reasonable Doubt. It's his first album. I believe you heard it here first, folks. JayZ would be headlining the Super Bowl next year. JayZ will be headlining the Super Bowl next year, and or we're going to get an album from JayZ as well. Before this year is out, we're going to get an album, and it's going to do crazy numbers, and it's going to be crazy. It's going to be everywhere, and that's going to lead him right into that Super Bowl performance. And then after that album, he's going to go on his own stadium tour for the next few months. I see all of that. Shout out to Hove. We got to talk about the Target thing. The Target. The internet is going fucking crazy about Target and JayZ. JayZ said, believe nothing what you hear, half of what you see, even if it's spent by me. So I'm going to use this as that example. I don't know what's going on with this Target deal. I just know I asked myself one question when I saw the media in the press release about Target and JayZ with this exclusive 30-year drop. I asked myself one question. In your opinion, Ray, do you think he means well by black people? And I thought about it. First, I said yes. And then I said, okay, maybe I said it too quick. So let me actually think about it unbiasedly. And then I said yes again. After I've thought about what he has done for black people, I said yes. I don't understand why, and it's black people. Let's just call a thing. White people not on Twitter making Twitter think pieces and on the Shade Room saying how this guy done sold out the black community again, and on podcasts talking about this shit. It's only black people doing this shit, yo. And when are we going to understand we're our own worst enemy? We are literally, these white people and the government cannot get this man So want me tell you what's the next best thing? He's gonna get a smear campaign from black people because we can't legally get him, because we can't put false accusations like rape of a child on him and prove it because he was innocent, and we thought that he was going to lose a lot of money, and we thought that his fall of grace was going to be that, and it wasn't. So now Nicki Minaj and other people have weaponized her fan base to really defame this man at any chance they get. And Rock Nation and Desiree Perez is starting putting cases on all of them sons of bitches. And good for them. And I just don't understand. And that was the question I asked myself. Do you think JayZ means well by black people? And I said yes, and I had to think about it, and I said yes again. And then all the things that I know, not even the 100% of the things he did, because him and his wife move so secretly when it comes to helping black people that unless the black people that they helped talk about it, we would never know. Yes, I do remember and could call a time where JayZ and Beyonce built out the Black Lives Matters protesters in Ferguson. And I believe Kansas City when they had one in Kansas City. And then he used one of his businesses to sue the Kansas City police department over civil liberties violations. Then he started another thing called Reform Alliance with Michael Rubin, one of the owners of the Philadelphia 76ers, and Meek Mill. And they changed laws when it comes to parole. And how many people did they help that looks like me, that looks like you, more than likely, that looks like JayZ and his kids? Then he has put in probably hundreds, if not in the thousands by now, black young kids through college. Then he started a streaming company, and instead of hoarding everything for his fucking self, he gave the top artists around that time ownership of it. And if you look at who was on that fucking stage when them people signed that paper that have ownership, some type of ownership, majority of them people were black. And this is the thing. And this is the thing that's going to make white people laugh. It's crazy how black people say he don't like black people. But in the terms of the NFL Super Bowl, let's just say the NFL Super Bowl, if he don't like black people, why, since he taken over, it's only been black and brown artists perform at the Super Bowl? When before that, it was fucking the Backstreet Boys and U2 and fucking Bruce Springsteen and the Rolling Stones, and it was just Caucasian, and which was, I ain't gonna say it was fine, but I'm not saying I don't love their music too, because I do. But it was just so heavy-handedly on the Caucasian side that our people was never really getting no play. The only people that really got played were, I think, Bruno Mars and Beyonce. And Beyonce transcends our culture. She still is a black woman, and she knows she's a black woman, but Beyonce is Beyonce. Beyonce is in a league of her own. So if any of us would have got a chance to do the Super Bowl before JayZ took it over, of course it would have been Beyonce, probably the greatest artist of any genre in our generation, maybe of all time. Because Mike took a hit for me when it came to that child molestation case. But yeah, JayZ has helped a lot of black people. And you see these people say, "Oh, Rock Nation is going to crumble. Rock Nation is going down. JayZ is going down." Nothing has happened. And I lost so much respect for Nicki Minaj, yo. It is not even funny. It is sad. I think, and whatever she says or does to that man doesn't negate the fact of musically what I'm about to say. She is the greatest female rapper of all time. Hands down. She's the greatest female rapper of all time. I will never put Lauryn Hill on that fucking list because Lauryn Hill only did one album, and for whatever reason, she didn't put out another album. Greatness for me is performing at a high level over an extended period of time. You cannot do something once in a field like music and say you're the greatest of that particular lane. You can't. That's just like JayZ coming out with Reasonable Doubt and never dropping another album. You cannot say, I could not say, sit up here confidently and say he's the greatest rapper of all time because we would have need to see more product. Michael Jordan, if he would have came in as a rookie, won Rookie of the Year, won all the rookie awards that he could have won, and won the NBA championship, and retired after that 1 year, you couldn't even call him the greatest of all time because everybody and their mother will be speaking about it every day. Well, yeah, he did it once, but can he do it again? You know, he got it because of this person, and you know that person was hurt on the other team, and so just because you did it once don't make you great. And that's what I look at as Lauryn Hill. But yeah, Nicki Minaj has very disappointed me. She's the greatest rapper of all time. And if you look on the man side of hip hop, JayZ is the greatest male rapper of all time. They're on not the same level, but near close when it comes to being great in their lanes. And this woman, it don't seem like this woman has no real legal problem with this man. Because if this woman had a real legal problem with this man, you don't think she would have put a case on this man in court? You honestly don't think that? And all of these things of when she was tweeting months ago, oh, just wait, just stay tuned, it's coming, it's coming. Where is it at? And that's why I can't respect these motherfuckers on Twitter or on Instagram or on any place, even in front of my fucking face, because I'm not going to be a helping hand in the demise of a black man without no proof. People, oh, he do shit behind the scenes and he just do shady shit. If it's behind the scenes, how the fuck do you know about it? And how the fuck can you prove it? And then her main grievances, I think, is bullshit. Because if it was really not money owed and you signed a fucked up deal and the contracts weren't right, my man, you are Nicki Minaj. You have money. You have access to some of the best lawyers. Not better than JayZ lawyers, but you have access to some good lawyers. Why did you put a case? Because you have nothing to fit a case. It's all really lies. And I feel this way. I think they doing this. I feel they against me. And now this woman is deleting tweets and shit because Rock Nation has started putting cases on all of these motherfuckers. I'm not going to stop supporting Hove until I see definite proof that he's a shitbag, that he's a dirtbag. And you're not going to show me proof because you bitches don't have it. And when I use bitch, I'm using it towards men and the female sex. Show me proof. Show me somewhere concrete that man has did fucked up shit, and I would say, yeah, that was fucked up. Don't send me no fucking blog post. Don't send me no fucking Tasha K post. Don't send me no fucking Jaguar Wright post. Send me something in court documents that this person done sued this person and evidence done came out to go in his favor or against his favor. And I can make a conscious decision as a intelligent adult. And let me tell you something. and this will be my last thing before I get off JayZ. If you think him and his wife did that hair care video because Nicki Minaj fans had him press or Drake had him press, you guys are fucking retarded, yo. And that's why I don't entertain and argue with y'all online, because I know you have a mental disability. And I refuse to argue with you, because once I start arguing with you, arguing back and forth with you, I would feel like I'm starting to have a mental disability. So I just choose not to engage in your delusional Edward the Scissorhand crazy ass facts and delusions. It's a sad day. It's a sad day. It's a great day. It's a great day for JayZ. All of his Tony Busby cases was dismissed today. And that Tony Busby fuck boy still gonna have to pay JayZ money. We're still not dropping the lawsuit, and he's still gonna have to pay JayZ money. I just don't understand the hate, and I kind of understand it, because y'all cannot talk about this man in any other way. You can't say he broke. You can't say he hit women. You can't say his wife is ugly. You can't say he hate black women because he married a white woman. You can't say he snakes people out, because he doesn't, as you can prove with Lil Wayne. And that's the thing about Nicki Minaj. You did all of this shit under the guise of you speaking up for Wayne, and you just couldn't hold it no more because he didn't pick Wayne for the Super Bowl. But that nigga ain't Lil Wayne didn't come out and say not one bad thing about JayZ, and still hasn't. And JayZ is about to throw another Fanatics Fest, and I guarantee you, Lil Wayne is going to be there. Nicki Minaj has loyalty to the wrong men. She had loyalty to Drake when that hate train was kind of real, when it was multiple women linking up to go against her, and about 12 or 13 of the women got on stage one night, and they all said that this was just basically what it was. Drake was still parlaying and kicking with some of them women that was actively looking to destroy his sister. But she didn't say nothing about Drake. A few days before the Super Bowl, JayZ and Lil Wayne was shoulder to shoulder sharing a bottle of Ace at a Fanatics Fest. And Lil Wayne looked like he was having a great old time, while you on Twitter ranting about this man. And I already know the conversation Jay and Lil Wayne had. And why she doing that? Like, it's just weird. I don't know, man. Like, you know, she just feel a certain type of way. I keep trying to tell her it ain't that. She going outside, yo. Her legacy is getting destroyed. And bitch, let a Nicki Minaj fan come in my face. I'm a fan of her. I listen to her music. She makes, well, not really no more, but she makes good music. She's not a scrub, yo. But if you say JayZ hate black people and you still supporting that lady, when that lady is actively supporting the most egregious, outwardly racist, misogynistic, rapist of a president that we have, and she's supporting him, and you telling me that you talking shit about JayZ and this Target shit, man, I'll spit in your fucking face, yo. Happy birthday, Mr. President, with AI pictures. That's what this bitch is doing. I don't get it. I don't get it. But I'm not going to entertain these people. Fuck you. Hope you die slow. Shout out to JayZ. Love you, man. It's real people, human beings, real black people out here that love you, that support you, that is going to keep supporting you until concrete proof come out that say maybe we should back up. And until that day happens, it's Rock Nation forever. And I can't wait for that new Forbes list update to come out sometime either this year or next year. And I bet that boy going to be over 4 Bs. JayZ is going to be worth over $4 billion when the next Forbes list come out. Oh, and congratulations to Hov. He made the top 10 list at number 10. the richest black men or black people in the world. In the whole wide world, Craig. Top flight security of the world, Craig. JayZ is the number 10th richest black person in the world. And let me tell you something I know about that man a little bit. Before he takes his eternal nap, a long time from now, when he closes his eyes for the last and final time, a long time from now, that man is going to be in the top 3 richest black people currently living on this planet. He's going to be in that top 3, I guarantee you. Maybe even get the number 1 spot, honestly. Shout out to Hove, yo. Can't wait for the Yankee Stadium show. Hopefully one of you motherfuckers live stream it somewhere. Hopefully Tidal live streams it. Come on, man. And I was going to get on the boycott, and I may speak about it a little bit, but not too much. We met at Target, and why was Target picked the boycott and not Walmart? And not Amazon, not Facebook, not United Healthcare Group. Why was Target picked the boycott? Because you knew people weren't going to stop going to Walmart, even though Walmart has given the most money, some of the most money to the Trump administration. You knew people weren't going to stop going to Walmart. What about Amazon? You knew black people ain't going to stop buying on Amazon. What about Facebook? You want to tell black people to delete their Facebook accounts and delete their Instagram accounts because Meta, Mark Zuckerberg, is at every Trump White House event that he can, but we want to boycott Target. Target is a big bad enemy. I feel like the reason why they picked Target because it was low-hanging fruit, and they knew black people was not going to stop going to Walmart. Black people was not going to stop going to McDonald's. Black people was not going to stop using Facebook and Instagram. So Target was the easiest culprit. Let's I think we are very warped when it comes to protesting and boycotting. I think we die on the wrong heels, and the battle should be fought in a different way at a different time, and we can expound on that later. Moving on, before we wrap up, something crazy. Trump speaks out against Israel continuing aggression against Lebanon at the G7 conference, I believe in France. And it surprised me because, first of all, Trump has been on Benjamin Netanyahu, ball sack ever since Trump was elected. Trump been hanging off of Benjamin Netanyahu, ball sack, ever since Trump has been elected. So for him to come out and speak so firmly against Israel kind of surprised me in a good way. And he said, if you didn't catch it, President Trump said, and I told the Israelis, if you're looking for a Hezbollah member and it's a guy you think is in this apartment building, you don't need to level the whole fucking apartment building to get that one guy. I agree with that. That is some terroristic shit to kill multiple dozens of innocent people just to kill one suspected person that may or may not be there. And I'm trying to be honest, and no disrespect to anybody, but we kind of do that as well. Let a fucking terrorist we know he only popped out his head at a wedding, or he only gonna pop out his head at a funeral. We will kill somebody just so we know that person, that target is gonna come to the funeral because he meant whatever to that person. And then we'll drop a big ass bomb near that person. And if it blow up kids, it blow up kids. If it blow up old people, it blow up old people. So we kind of do it too. But that surprised me when Donald Trump said that. But the Israeli government came back out and said, after he said that, to respect to the American government, They didn't say these words. I'm paraphrasing right now in my own words. In the respect to the American government, fuck them. We're going to continue bombing them. They can't tell us how to win our war and what we need to do or what we don't need to do. If we want to bomb them, we're going to continue bombing them. And do you think Donald Trump has said anything other than that? No, he hasn't. And I think something is mentally wrong with that man. I don't know why you can ask him a question and he just goes off on a whole completely 180 direction answer. Like, hey, well, why is the reflective pool turning green when we spent $9 million or $16 million for da. Well, Barack Obama drained it out, and when he drained it and Biden, and it's like, what the fuck is he talking about? And nobody's saying that they don't know what the fuck he's talking about. And I don't like the fact that a bill that means that was agreed on and worked in conjunction together with Democrats and Republicans. They worked on a bill to ease the affordability crisis in this country. They both worked on the bill, Republicans and the Democrats. It was painstakingly kind of long. If you know anything about bipartisan bills, it's very give and take. You got to work with the Democrats, you got to work with the Republicans, and some of the most bipartisan legislation has worked out well in the long term for our country. That is when our government is really doing the people's work, when they come together and fix their problem, whether we like each other, identity politics or not. He said he won't gonna sign a fucking bill until they pass that voting, that Save America Act shit. And even Republican senators was like, we cannot pass it because we don't have the votes. And if you don't sign it in 10 days and you don't veto it in 10 days, it automatically becomes law. But let me tell you something about Donald Trump. He'll wait the fucking 9 days, and at 11:59 on the 9th day, he'll sign that bitch into a law, or he'll veto it and send it back. We need, something is wrong in this country when it comes to pay and affordability. And that needs to be addressed quick before, people stop asking for it. Let me just say that. People stop asking for it. I'm very kind of disgusted in President Trump because he ran on affordability. And even though I may have not personally voted for him, I did have some hope that he was going to do the things that he said he was going to do in certain aspects. But yeah, I don't know. And I think he's losing it. To that point, I love that the World Cup was in the Americas, in Canada, in America, in Mexico, and I believe America hosted the bulk of the games. Oh my God. To show the goodwill of Americans to the world during this Trump administration, when the world sees us as dumb bullies that backtrack and destroy relationships just because Donald Trump wants us to, or is really whatever Trump wants. I am glad that the world came to America. Americans was receptive of them, respectful of them. We showed them a good time here, whether they was in Texas, with, I forgot one of the national teams down there, whether they was in Boston with the Scotland team, Scotland national team, whether they was in New York, whether they was anywhere across this country. When news casters interview tourists that's coming for the World Cup, they speak about how great America is, how respectful we are as a people, how helpful we are, how much we love this fucking country. They cannot understand how we as a people love our fucking country and love this flag and love the troops. And we needed this. We needed these tourists to go back to America. It's like, look, I'm gonna be honest. We don't know what the fuck Trump doing in the government, but the people of America, they're respectful, they're kind, they are welcoming. America is a big place. A lot of people was shocked on it. It was taking motherfuckers 6 hours to drive across the state of Texas, and they didn't know how big Texas was. Like, I loved it. I loved it. I loved it. I loved it. Hopefully somehow we can host the games again in the future, because I would love that. And I think the tourists of America, of the world, would love to come back to America. Um, yeah, and I just love how. So shout out to the Americans for treating these tourists with respect, showing them what America could be. That America is different from what they just see online with the protests and what they see online from what our government officials is talking about. They get to come and show and bask in the glory of how great of a country this is. Whether whoever's in office, Barack Obama, Joe Biden, or Donald Trump, it really doesn't negate how strong of a people we are and how great of this country is. And I love that. That's it for me. That's it for me. That's it for me. Thank you guys. Shout out to the Ray Vaughan Show. Make sure on IG, TikTok, the Ray Vaughan Show, on YouTube, the Ray Vaughan TV. Make sure you like, you comment, subscribe to this page. I need to get my subscribers up. So if you haven't liked the video, please like the video. My personal links is Ray Vaughan with 2 underscores. Ray Vaughan with 2 underscores. Shout out to Sneaky Q. His links is underscore Sneaky Q underscore. Make sure you guys go follow him on all of his socials. And we're going to get out of here. And before we get out of here, I got to do my movie reference. Hey, how can I turn one of them white only pies into nigger pies? How about I turn you into a nigger pie? That was Life with Martin Lawrence and Eddie Murphy. Came out in 1999. Go check that movie out. I guarantee you, you're going to laugh, 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 laugh. Thank you guys for supporting the show. We got great content coming, a lot of different content coming. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Your boy's out.